In part 5 of The Plain Truth, we're looking at the swing plane theory, complex though it can be, and you've made me a promise in earlier videos that you're going to ignore this when you go to the golf course. We're just examining some history really of swing technique followed by club structure. And the forerunners in the field to me were the P.G.A company founded by Carson Solheim. The club's out of Phoenix in Arizona, and he gave us the P.G.A color code system. And I've got it here. Black is bog standard, red, orange and gold are progressively flatter for shorter people, and the blue, green and white pegs would represent. So it doesn't matter whether you're a short person down here, your horizontal plane looks like this, back up to me, 5'9" black code P.G.A, and if I stand and cut the bricks, I'd be making the same thing. Can you see the guy up here has the furthest to lean? That's why tall men and women have upright lies on their clubs. And if you have the Ian Woosnam setting down here, 5'4" from Shropshire, Oswestry, Woosie's here, horizontal, he doesn't tip very far forward. So you got it? Your swing plane is determined by the height of your sternum, and then you've got 13 variations, one for every club. And you'll find, here's me P.G.A black code in the horizontal. There's driver, there's 6-iron, there's wedge. Okay, let's go in Woosnam down here. Here is the horizontal plane, and he doesn't have far to go to become a driver and a 6-iron at a wedge. So there you have it. The swing plane is determined by the height of the sternum and the length of the club that you're using. All right. The best way of getting your swing plane is to find out what the 6-iron does. There's 13 long clubs, the 6-iron's in the dead middle. There's 6 clubs before the 6-iron and there's 6 clubs after. This is middle for diddle. So I happen to be P.G.A black code, and that's my best optimum horizontal swing inclined forward. And you can see that I measure off here, I lean forward, and can you see now I'm in plane, but I've shifted the plane from horizontal to inclined, and that plane lives down the post, and I drive that golf ball along the plane line towards the target. You can see that there. And I'm not just going at it and turning left, that'd be glancing. I'm going down the plane line for as long as I can. And you can fade it there or draw it there. The choice, of course, is yours. So, when you go for your next fitting, of all the things to get right, whether it's the shaft, the grip or the head, for me, the angle between the sole of the club and the hosel, the lie angle, is critical. And your club fitter can move those clubs a few degrees to make sure they're absolutely right for your body and for the swing that you have. Righty-ho. So, just going back down to the ball on the ground here, I'm now coiling. I'm in plane for my body with a 6-iron. If I stand up, there's the horizontal plane. So it's the inclination of the plane that matters. I load the shoulder into my throat, and I come through here, and I elongate the strike. I go down that line for as long as I can, and the longer I go through, the more accurate I'm going to be. Trevino was the best at it. Paul Hurrian discovered that when he measured people's weight shift, every player on the European Tour, their weight shift was linear, and the longer they were linear, the better the player. All those players eventually had to turn left, but not before they'd been linear for as long as they can be. So let me say that again. Weight shift is linear because the swing needs to go down the plane line towards the target. Yes, it can only go so far, it will have to then turn left. But if you teach people to turn left early, they spin out of it, and it's not a good thing. It may be an anti-hook mechanism for Dustin Johnson, but if you don't hit the ball, draw, spin, it's medicine that you don't need. So let me just recap what's happening. We go through our pre-shot routine. We create the power. We can check our plane by standing up. I'm in the horizontal. So there we go, horizontal, driver, 3-wood, 5-wood, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and so on. Okay? So you can see that the swing plane is determined by the height of the sternum and by the club that you're using. So let me hit a shot. And when I'm hitting iron shots, I always like to think of Lee Trevino, not so much for his swing, but what he's doing with the club through the ball. Okay, I'm going to hit you a slight fade here. Load. Little bit of cut, moving the ball back, and you can see that Trevino movement. Okay, yeah, he turned left, but about 15-18 inches after it hit the ball. Turning left, flattening the shaft, that's great for Trevino, but it doesn't apply to every person or to every club. You've got to go with the flow. A driver swing has a very different need to a wedge swing.